Hi everyone. In today's challenge, we are going to solve this problem. The problem name is substring with largest variance, and the problem number is 2272. Alright guys, so as usual, first of all, we are going to clearly understand this problem statement. And after that, we are going to move to the logic part. We are going to see how we can solve this problem. What is the logic to solve this problem? And after understanding the logic, we are going to move to the implementation part. And in the implementation part, we are going to implement our logic in Python and C++ programming language. We are not going to implement with Java and JavaScript in this video. Just the reason is, guys, the video is going to be very long, right? But believe me, guys, if you understood the logic part and if you have seen the implementation of Python or the C++, you can easily implement in your programming language as well. Whether it could be Java, JavaScript, or Ruby, any other programming language, right? Now let's see what this problem says, right? So problem says, let me move this over. Problem says the variance of a string is defined as the largest difference between the number of occurrence of any two character present in the string. Now guys, the variance of a string, let's take any string A, B, C, and let's give it a let's say D, right? So this is nothing but we can say this is nothing but our string, right? Now what we have to do, we have to find a variance. So variance is nothing but we can say large, any two character you can assume. So let's say assume the character A and the character B, right? So A comes two times and B come only one time, right? So what is the variance of this? Variance of this is nothing but we can say 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1, right? So we have to subtract 2 minus 1. So simple thing guys, variance of a string is defined as the largest difference. So largest difference between the number of occurrence of any two character. So if you take any other character, you let's say you take B and C, both are coming one time. So their difference is nothing but 0 only. But A and B or A and C or A and D, AB or AC or AD, they are giving a difference of 1, right? So variance is nothing but this one, because this is the maximum or we can say largest difference of any two unique character frequencies, right? Now note the two character may or may not be the same. Now these two character may or may not be the same, but if we take a same, then they're always going to be 0, right? If you take A, then what is the frequency? A frequency is again 2, A frequency again 2, so always it's going to be 0, right? So they told just not to assume only that they are going to unique, they could be same, right? Fine. Given a string as consisting of lowercase English letter only. Now the string which we are given with here, I have assumed only lowercase letter. Like same thing in the input also, they are only given us a lowercase English letter, right? After that, return the largest variance possible among all the substring of S. Now what we have to do, we have to find all the substrings. Not we have to find, just assume that we are having all the substring and we have to find the variance out of them. And after that, we have to find the maximum and we have to return that. Simple thing guys. We have to find we can say this given largest variance among all the possible substring of the given string. Simple thing. A substring is a contiguous subsequence, not sequence of character with a string. This is a simple example of substring. What is substring? Substring is nothing but you can say if you are taking this A, then you have to take next character as well. It's not like you are taking A, then you are taking B, then you are taking C, then you are taking D, right? I hope you are getting this. Substring is nothing but continuous. You have to take, if you are taking it, then you have to take A next A as well, right? So that's why I have to. If you are taking A, then you have to take again A, you have to take again B. If you are taking B, then you can take C, you can take D, you can take A as well. But it's not like you are taking a B, then you are taking a D directly. You have to move with a continuous memory, right? This is simple definition of substring. I hope you know already. Now let's see the example one, right? Now let's see. So in the example one, guys, in the example one, we have this string, right? So we have A, B, A, triple B. So this is nothing but we can say our string, right? Now what we have to do, we have to find the maximum variance out of all the possible substring. So their substring could be many, right? This could be A, this could be A, this could be A, B, this could be A, B, A, this could be A, B, A. Let me write A, then B, then again C, so on, right? So, but if you will focus here, guys, if you take this much string only, then you can see, guys, we are getting A, triple B, right? So, which in a we can say B is coming 3 times and A is coming 1 time. So, B is coming 3 times, A is coming 1 time. So, here the maximum variance is nothing but 2 only, right? But if we slightly increase this window by one length to the left side, then if you will see, we take this much. Then B coming 4 times, A coming only 1 time. So, the variance here is nothing but 4 minus 1 is 3. So this is the maximum possible variance we have. We could not have more than 3 variants, so we are going to return 3, and the substring is nothing but B A triple B, right? And in the answer explanation also you can see B A triple B, right? So we don't need to find this particular substring, we just need to find the maximum variance, right? So we'll see how we can do it in the logic part, but let's see the second example now. We have A B C D. So same example, guys. Here all the characters have one, we can say, frequency, right? Every character one comes one time. So even we took any of the pairs, let's say this one, or let's say this one. So if we take A and C, that means we have to count A, B, C. But if we take A and C, then you can see also again we are going to get 0, because A also come one time, B also come, C also come one time. So A minus C is also 0, right? Simple thing, guys. If you take any of the characters, we have to take any two unique character, right? So if we take any of the character A with A, we are always going to get 0. Same thing for B, same thing for C, same thing for D, same thing for E. That means this is always going to return a variance 0. So we are going to say we are getting answer nothing but 0 only, right? So we are returning 0. So I hope, guys, you understood the problem statement now. But all I want to tell you here, guys, nothing but we are given one string. We have to find maximum possible variance among all the possible substring which we can make from that string. And what is the variance we have seen? We have to take any two unique character. We have to count their frequency, and we have to do this subtraction, right? From A to B or B to A, which one is greater, right? Fine. So that's we have seen. Now let's see the logic part, how we can solve this problem. So, guys, logic is going to be really easy, right? So let me write a logic. Now, guys, logic is going to be really easy. What we have to do, I just want you to understand this problem, or we can say this string, as this only has a two character. So currently there could be any character, right? All we can say English lowercase character A to Z. But for now, just try to understand this has only two character, A and B, right? So what I'm saying, that let's make it a bigger string. So this is my string. This has nothing but let's give it a simple name, right? So let's say triple B, triple A, then triple B, and then triple A. Let's say two more A, right? So this is nothing but we can say our string. So we have this much string. But I'm saying that assume that we have only two character string. Means there are only gonna be two character, A or B, right? Not any other characters. Can you find now the maximum possible variance now? Just try to understand. Can you find a maximum possible variance from this particular string? Is there any way? There are no any other string. No need to worry about any other thing. Yes, we can find, and this is going to be really easy. See, guys. What I'm going to say here, guys, I'm going to say two things, because there are going to be two strings. So I'm going to say B count or A count and B count. There are two count, right? B count and A count. So let me give it a cover if you could not able to see this part. So A count is initially 0. We don't have any A characters. We don't have any B character, right? And there's one more variable, that is nothing but we can say start with B. And this is nothing but initially false. So we have seen three things, right? Now let's move to the our logic. So what we are going to do, guys, we are going to keep traversing over this, right? So we're going to say here, this is nothing but we have come to first character and B count increment by 1, right? And whenever B count is greater than A count, so what I'm saying, guys, here, here is no A count, right? But B count. Here in this case, we are trying to get the substring which is greater than which is greater with A, right? So what I mean by this we'll tell you later, but for now just keep in mind that B count come, right? And B count is greater than A count, right? B count is greater than A count. So what we can do, we can say, guys, if B count is greater than A count, then make again B count and A count equal to 0, right? Because here I want B should come, A should come maximum time. Simple thing, guys. A should come maximum time. I want to make a let's say variance where A should be greater than B. I want to do just like this. Simple thing. My main motive is to get A more time and B less time, so that I can find A frequency minus B frequency, which should be maximum. I hope you are getting this. This is a little bit tricky. I want to get that substring where A should be the maximum, B should be the minimum. So that's why I'm saying if B is greater than A, just make both both equal to 0. Simple thing. A equal to 0 and B equal to 0. And say B, now our string is getting started with B, because B was greater than 0. So initially it's nothing but B, right? So I say B start B is nothing but now 2. I hope you are making this, right? You are getting this, not making this. Okay, now we come to the next letter, again B. So again B is going to increment by 1. And here we can say B count is again greater than 1, greater than A count. So if B count is greater than A count, again we have to both make 0 and we start B equal to 2, right? Again B. So again both are equal to, we are going to make 0 and start B. Now it's come A. Whenever you are getting A, so you have to increment A count, simple. Now you have incremented the A count. So first thing you have to do, you have to say if B count is greater than 0, then you have to say three conditions you are going to do. If B count is greater than A count, or we can say B count greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, it will be only possible if B count is greater than 0, it will be only possible if A count has some value. Try to be understand this, right? If A count had at least one value, then only B count is possible, right? Or it will be the we can say initial case, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to say our result going to be means variance going to be is equal to maximum of, we have already calculated variance. Now A count minus B count. Simple thing, guys, right? If B count is greater than 0, I hope it makes sense, right? So here you can see B count is not greater than 0. So we are going to not run this condition. But second condition is going to be nothing but the main condition, which is nothing but here. If our A count, not A count, if B count is equal to 0, if it is equal to 0, then that means that only possible if our string, and we have to like one more conditions, and B start is nothing but true, right? Means nothing but our string start with B. Means this condition, before this condition, we have found that B count was greater than A count. So we make initially 0 and start with B is equal to 0, right? So if we will see, guys, here B count is 0 and A count is something, right? It is 1 or it could be anything, and start B is true. That means we are processing this string where ahead of this A we must have B, right? So initially our this substring is nothing but BA, right? So we know B is A is ahead of B, right? Before A B must have B. That's why start B is 2, right? And after that we have only one time A. So we are going to say nothing but, we are going to say here our variance is going to be nothing but maximum of variance minus, and here we are going to say A count minus 1. And now you will understand why we are saying A count minus 1. Simple thing, guys. A count minus 1 is nothing but how many number of times A we got. We are going to just say that minus 1, because B only come one time. We are taking this much string, right? Initially A come one time, and here we are keeping B ahead. So count of A is always going to be A count, and count of B is always going to be 1. So A count minus B count, which is nothing but this. Now let's process ahead. So A count initially was 1. Now we come to this particular characters. Now this is also A. So we are going to increment A count 2. We incremented A count 2. And as you know that, guys, B count is not greater than 0. This condition will not false or not will run. And we come to this condition where B count is equal to 0. Right? B count is equal to 0. And B minus not B underscore this start B. Right? Start B is also true. So we are going to say that means this 2A, ahead of this 2A we must have B. That's why start B is true. So this is nothing but we can say A is coming 2 times, B is coming 1 time. So 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1. Same thing we are going to do A count minus 1. A count is 2, 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1. So this is going to store in our variance. Now we are going to say fine. Now third time again A comes. So we are going to increment this thing. And same thing we are going to process 3 minus 1 is nothing but 2. So variance is so far maximum is nothing but 2 only, right? Now B come. Now once V come, we are going to say B should be increment. V count should be increment, right? So V's count is 1. So now this condition will true. So first of all, this condition will run if B count is greater than 0. Yes, it is 0. So what we are going to do, we are going to say maximum B count should be equal to maximum of variance means A count is nothing but 3 minus B count is nothing but 1. Simple, 2. So it is greater than 2. Variance is already 2, right? So we don't need to do anything else. Fine. And B count is not equal to 0. This condition will never gonna run, right? Okay. And now what we are going to do, we are going to say next again B count increment. 3 minus 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. So it variance already we have is greater than the 1, right? So we are not going to update. Again B come. Now B count is also 3. So B count, A count minus B count, both are equal to 0. Right? Both are equal to 0. Right? So we are going to say nothing but both are equal to 0. We are not going to update our variance because it is already greater than 0. It is 2, right? Fine. Now again A come. So see, guys, B count was not greater than A count in this case, right? That's why we had not set to 0 both of them, because B count was equal to A count, but it's not greater than A count, right? So now so A count is going to increment, it's going to be 4, and now we can say B count is greater than 0. Yes. So again do 4 minus 3 is 1, variance is equal to 1, but it is already greater than 1. So we are going to say keep remain 2. Now A again come. So variance A count 5, 5 minus 3 is 2. A come 6, 6 minus 3 is nothing but 3. 6 minus 3 is nothing but we can say 3. I hope it makes sense, right? So 6 minus 3 is nothing 3. So we are going to say nothing but 3 here because it is greater than 2. So now one more comes. 7 minus 3 is nothing but 4. So we are going to say 4. Now one more come 8. So 8 minus 3 is nothing but 5. So we can say 5. Now string over. So we are going to say nothing but the value which is currently stored in our var variable is nothing but our total maximum variance. We are going to return that particular value. I hope you are getting this much part as well, right? So what we are doing in this part was just we have tried to make maximum A and minimum B. Simple thing, nothing else. So here what we got 5, which is nothing but the possible of this much. Triple A, triple B, and 5 times A. Right. So this is nothing but here v count is nothing but 3 only, a count is nothing but 3 to 5, 5, 3, 8. So 8 minus 3 is nothing but we are getting a 5 answer. So we found this particular substring. So here a was maximum and b was minimum. I hope you're getting this much part, right? So in this just case, we just try to find a maximum and b minimum. So why we need to do this? Our question is different, right? Where we could have n number of, we can say 26 characters, right? Not a and b, right? So what we are going to do, guys, actually, we're going to use, but it's still 26, right? It's still constant, right? So we can say use each character one by one. Here I use a and b, where b was nothing but we can say I want to time minimum, and a was I was to time maximum. So next time we are going to say BA, right? Or we can say AC, then AD, and then AE. So just think this thing, right? I hope you now you find it, this problem very easy, right? This time I have just done A and B, right? Next time I'm going to do A and C. Third time I'm going to do A and D. Fourth time I'm going to do A and E. Simple thing, right? So now you will say this system, how this system will come. So guys, you can do right. If any of these characters is matched with your A, then you are going to say, let's say you have simple thing. Let me tell you, if you are still not getting this part, so let's say you have this string A, B, C, D, D, E, E, F, A, E, and D, right? So this is your string, right? And now my we can say loop is working for A, we can say D and E part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say if character is equal to D, so write D. If character is equal to D, write D. If character is equal to E, write E. Again, note F, note A, note E, again write E, D, again write E. So you will get your string, right? Isn't it? You can get easily your string. Simple thing. You just have to extract whichever character is matching with them. So even if you don't need to crack that, you can still traverse over here. If your character is matching, then only you can run this particular loop. Otherwise, you don't run it. Yeah, here for A, you are not gonna run because it's not matching with D and C. B, not run. C, not C, it was E, right? So for C, not run. D, run. D, run. E, run, run. F, not run, not run, run, run. Simple thing, right? So we will see with the code part how we can do this. But still, I believe you must have to understood this part, right? What is the main motive of this code, this particular logic, right? We are going to take at one time two characters A and B, or it could be A and C, anything, and there we are trying to maximize one character and minimize one character so that we can get maximum variance. Now let's move to the implementation part and let's see how we can implement this, right? So guys, I am here with first of all Python, right? So for Python, we are going to do with Python and C++, right? As I have already told you, the video is going to be very long, but implementation is going to be very short. Believe me, guys, you will really find it really easy, right? So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to say for character. Let me show you one magic as well. For character in, first of all, I'm going to say string dot ASCII lowercase, and for character in string dot not character, I can say this is A and this is B, right? Right, whatever the value stored in A variable is going to be the first character and second variable is B, right? For B in string dot ASCII dot underscore, let's say lowercase, right? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say if A is equal to B, then continue, right? If both string comes, then we don't want to process for that particular part, right? Then we can say if A, then we don't want to process, right? But if it is not the case, so now we are going to say A count needs to be 0 and B count also should be equal to 0. Let me write B count. Once this is also done, now we are going to say one more variable. Remember that start B is equal to nothing but we can say false initially, right? So false. Now we are going to use a loop for character in our this S. If ch is equal to A, then what we are going to do, we are going to say A count should be plus equal to 1, and if ch is equal to B, B count should be plus equal to 1, right? Isn't it? Once this is done, now we are going to check first of all if B count is greater than equal to, not greater than, it should be, if it is greater than 0, that means A count must have a value, right? And it, or the second condition could be that this only here it got increment, right? So there could be two possible, either A count should have any value or A count should be equal to 0, right? So if it is the case, so then we are going to say simple thing. Let me make a result global variable, result is initially 0. So we are going to simply do here, guys, result should be equal to maximum of result comma A count minus B count, right? A count minus B count. And here, even if our A count is smaller than B count, still result is already 0, right? It will not go in negative value. That is definitely, right? That is sure. Result will never go in negative because we are saying the result should be the maximum, right? So that is the condition true if even if our A count is smaller than B count. But here the second condition comes, if B count is greater than, if B count is greater than A count, then what we have to do? Simple, guys. If B count is greater than A count, we don't want that. We want A count should be greater than this, right? So we are going to say B count should be equal to 0 and A count should be equal to 0. And one more thing, b start b should be equal to now true, right? And this we can't use simple true, we have to use this true. Let me do this. Fine. And that last condition is, guys, which we have already seen, if b count is equal to 0. And one more thing, if b count is equal to 0 and start b is equal to true, that means whatever the characters now we have a count, means whatever the a counts, just we have to put b ahead of it and we have to find the variance. So for that we can say result should be equal to maximum of result comma a count minus 1, because b always going to be one time, right, which we are putting ahead of it. After that we can simply say return your result. That's all, guys. Let's run this code and see whether it's going fine or not. Unknown network error. Just give me a second, guys. Really sorry, guys. I started the video again. Actually, the Wi-Fi driver was gone, so unable to connect the network. Now let's see whether it's working fine or not. So you can see, guys, this code will work fine, and you can see that all the task is passed. But if I try to submit this code, so see what will happen. So it's getting actually submitted, but an interesting thing will happen here, and you will find it very interesting. So let it be do. Let it be happen. Okay, you can see, guys, we got TLA, time limit exceeded. So 138 out of 138 task is passed, but still TLA. Why? Because it is a little bit, we can say, not optimized. So what we can do, we instead of taking all the characters, we are taking all the characters right here, a to z, right? Instead of that we can say set of s. That means take all the unique character which is present in the string. The same thing we are going to do here, set of s. Now if we try to submit this code, then you can see, guys, it will definitely want to submit as well. So let's see. And let me see, guys, it should submit, right? So it's taking a time, but yeah, you can see, guys, it definitely got submitted. So we have successfully submitted with Python programming language. Now let's move to the next programming language, which is nothing but C++. And you can see the time difference, guys. It's now 8:30, and earlier video was, which is the first part, is around 6 or 7, right? Now first of all, what we are going to do in C++, first of all, we are going to say, let's take a unique characters from S. So we can say, let's create another set of which data type, character data type, and the name I'm going to give nothing but unique, or we can say, what we can say, let's say US, right? Unique string. So we are going to say nothing but, it's going to be nothing but s begin of s and not end of s, right? Once this is done, what we are going to do, then we are going to say nothing but another, once we are going to traverse over it, we can say for auto, or we can say for char ch, or we can say a, right? First time a and then s, and inside of this also for char b, and inside of this s only, right? Fine. And once this is also done, not s, we can say us, unique character. So we are going to traverse over each possible characters. Now here, guys, we are going to say, if a is equal to b, then you can say continue, right? Continue. But if it is not the case, it is a unique character, then we are going to define two variables. First of all, a count, which is initially equal to 0, b count is initially equal to 0, then boolean variable, which is nothing but we can say start b, right? Which is initially false. Fine. Now we are going to say for character ch, and after there s, right? Now here we're going to say, if ch is equal to a, then we have to increment a count. If ch is equal to b, then you have to increment b count, right? Fine, this is also done. Now what we are going to do, we are going to say, if our b count is greater than 0, then what we were doing, we were saying simply result should be equal to maximum of result and b count, a count minus b count, right? And we haven't defined a result, so let's define a result globally, which is nothing but equal to initially 0, which are less the maximum variance, right? Once this is done, if one more condition, if b count is greater than a count, then we have to reset it, remember? So we are going to say a count is equal to 0, b count is initially 0, and after that start b make it true, right? Start b make it true, and last condition is nothing but if b count is equal to 0, and we can say, and let me write here, and start b is also true, then you can say fine. If it is the case, then you are going to say result should be equal to maximum of result and a count minus 1. Fine. After that, we are going to simply return this result variable. Let's run this code and see whether it's working fine or not. And I hope, guys, it should also work. You know now what will be the big challenge for me? To combine these two videos, this first second video and the first video, because I don't use a video editor. Let's try to summarize this code as well. Fine. Now you can see, guys, it also got successfully submitted. So we have successfully submitted with Python and C++ programming language. I hope you have seen the implementation and problem understanding part. If you understood the both thing, then you can easily implement in your programming language, whether it could be Java, JavaScript, Ruby, Perl, any programming language, right? So that's all in this video, guys. If I hope you understood the logic part, problem understanding part, implementation part. If you have any kind of doubt, you can write in the comment section. I'm always there to help you. And if you learn something new in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video.